here. We'll have to do it on the draw here in the top 8.
I want to see how crisp Gooch is. I haven't gotten to watch him all weekend. I know we had him on a backup feature match, but we weren't able to get to that time shifted that round, and I was pretty disappointed about it, to be honest.
Well, we got him in the feature match area now, starting on Windswept Heath.
No Once Upon a Time to start. Don't like that.
Goes to 19 for a Forest. I don't know, maybe he's fetching and then Once Upon a Timing.
Oh, yeah, got to thin the deck. Don't want to hit that land.
All right, he's not. It's the Noble Hierarch.
Now, one of the coolest things about cards like Noble Hierarch and Birds of Paradise in this deck is that if you start off with a Leyline of Abundance, you actually start to use that extra mana in a significant way by putting counters on your creatures. And making sure you have creatures that can actually attack and block is great. That's why I don't like Sylvan Caryatid, or I didn't like Sylvan Caryatid in the Pioneer version.
Fair enough. Turn 1 Amulet of Vigor off of Snow-Covered Forest for Pulliam.
This card.
Now we have Llanowar, whatever, Llanowar Triplets, Llanowar Tribe.
Yep,
I knew it wasn't triplets, but, you know, you probably got the card by me saying that. Stomping Ground is going to shock that in.
Give me that card.
What about the card?
Nothing.
You're not a fan?
It's fine. It is a good Magic the Gathering card, is what I'll say.
It's 3 Llanowar Elves stapled together.
That's true.
Green, 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 tap. Add
I wonder,
green, green, green.
I'm actually curious if it's like the 3 arts of Llanowar Elves all cobbled together in one.
I would love to see I want to see like the current Llanowar Elves, 7th edition Llanowar Elves, and like the weird brain Llanowar Elves. That's the art I want to see.
All right, well, we have a pretty good start from Pulliam. Turn 1 Amulet of Vigor into turn 2 Tutor for Azusa and cast it off Simic Growth Chamber, and then he replays 2 more lands. So he's actually got a lot of good mana development early. Could potentially get a Primeval Titan down and attacking next turn. Christopher Gooch is currently sitting at 17, not quite lethal range from that 8 power. Oh, no, there's red hair on those owner elves. Never mind. Take it back.
I mean, yeah, it's not the different arts, but wouldn't that be neat?
It would, it would be about as neat as stapling 3 Llanowar Elves together and calling it a new card.
And here's a Nykthos from Gooch.
There's a lot of mana.
Yeah, there it is.
All right.
That's
cool
5
right there.
Elves.
That's 5 right there.
That's the original. Vivian Arcbow Ranger.
Well, Pulliam, you better do something quick, because there's a new Ulamog in your future, buddy. And he hungry.
His hunger is ceaseless.
That's true. Oh, he's fighting!
It's gonna be a fight.
Oh, that's so much smarter! Get him, Gooch. Banging on him for 4, thanks to the Exalted. Oh, he's tapping for mana.
Hey,
never mind.
Why not both?
We can just do both.
I can fight you, I can go to 5. That will unlock the ability for Vivian to access that wish board next turn. As you mentioned, Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger looming, and Pulliam's just got to pay for a pact here.
He's so dead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Azusa going down, 4 mana tapped in the upkeep for the pact. Writing's a bit on the wall here. See if Pulliam, I don't know, thinks he can scrap something over the course of 2 turns with 2 lands exiled. He's going to play Vesuva. It's going to be a Simic Growth Chamber, picks up his Forest and casts Explorer, so he can get some lands on the battlefield.
The problem is cards like Explorer kind of break even on mana. You really need something like Azusa to get that burst of extra mana. And here, though, we're just going to see Gooch tick down and just go for the Ulamog. Float a bunch of mana off Nykthos first. It's more than enough. And that is really the strength of this deck. Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx.
Actually, can Gooch just win this turn? He does have a Kratos Behemoth in the sideboard.
Sure. Kratos is just secretly always lethal.
Yeah, it's kind of like a why bother doing the math kind of thing. It might be shy on the current battlefield. So you'd have 3 creatures, base power is 10 plus 9. So he actually needs to make a creature on top of that. Which might not be too hard, but he only has 2 cards in hand. Nykthos activation, we have 4, 5, 8 pips, and there's a wish on the Vivian.
I have a lot of first-hand experience with Vivian Arcbow Ranger going to get Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. If you ever untap with a Nykthos and a Vivian, it is very hard not to hit 10 mana.
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
It makes the 3 pips from the Vivian and now the 3 pips from that Llanowar tribe just gives him such a huge amount of mana so quickly. And we saw the double Vivian last turn with the fight was just excellent. And now busting up both of those 2 mana lands, now Pulliam is just in a world of hurt.
This attack, not only do you see Ulamog exiling those 2 bounce lands, but the attack for 5 from the beefed up Llanowar tribe puts Pulliam to 15, so the attack next turn is just lethal as well. Nothing you can do about it, and we see Christopher Gooch, quick game 1 win, about 5 minutes over Will Pulliam.
I just want to point out, no Leyline of Abundance. Did it on hard mode. And I say hard mode, it looked easy.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the joke is the Leyline ban was really just apologizing for Nykthos, you know? Like,
well, they had Theros Beyond Death coming out. They can't ban Nykthos in Pioneer right before the Devotion set comes out. There's so much cross-promotion potential. So they ban Oath of Nissa, Leyline of Abundance, Once Upon a Time.
We did a Factor Fiction over on StarCityGames.com that week, and Patrick Sullivan was on board, and he had the prompt about Leyline of Abundance, and he said, this is the first time that there was a ban list update where I needed to look up the card.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, look, I will say this. Leyline of Abundance is very powerful. I think that the free 2 devotion you get from it is relatively similar to the free 2 devotion you get from something like a Burning Tree Emissary, but there is a lot to like about being able to play a 4-mana spell on turn 2 with just 2 lands and an elf. Like, that's just really good.
Sure. All right, so sideboarding here, Christopher Gooch, he has, a number of these creatures that you grab largely with your Vivians, but the options of the sideboard, 2 Veil of Summer, 2 Blood Moon for the mono green deck, love that. Crater of Behemoth, there's that Ulamog, Spellskite, Grafdigger's Cage, Pithing Needle, Mycosynth Lattice, Ensnaring Bridge, Tormod's Crypt, Walking Ballista, Liquid Metal Coating, Damping Sphere, the Karn board, a lot of cards that you just wish for.
Yeah, it's not just a Karn board, though. It's also a Vivian board. It's a weird split. He has 4 real sideboard cards with Veil, Summer, and Blood Moon, and then a bunch of one-ofs that he can choose to go get with those. Sometimes sideboard a few of them in. In this particular matchup, I think Blood Moon actually is very strong here. Pulliam would be wise to bring in some of his enchantment removal.
William Pulliam, sideboard is 3 Dismember, 3 Mystical Dispute, 2 Beast Within, Tectonic Edge, Radiant Fountain, Engineered Explosives, Field of the Dead, Reclamation Sage, Ramunap Excavator, and Tireless Tracker.
So from Pulliam's side, I think Dismember is awesome. Definitely want to use that to kill those early mana creatures. Beast Within might be worthwhile just to be able to kill Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, one of those Planeswalkers, or potentially Blood Moon. And now that both players actually know both of each other's decks, because we share deck lists here in the top 8, he knows that those Blood Moons are very likely coming in, so Beast Within just makes a lot of sense. Outside of that, the Engineered Explosive seems pretty good to complement the one in the main deck. And the Reclamation Stage can come in as a Summoner's Pact target to be able to blow up the Blood Moon.
If you've been watching our shows very long, you know that one of our sponsors here is Ultimate Guard, the supply company, and they would like to tell you a little bit more about their products right now. Players gearing up for game number 2 here, drawing up their openers. Saw on the sideboards that Christopher Gooch, well, he won game 1, and now he has some Blood Moons. Amulet Titan, this deck is the reason that I own Blood Moons.
I owned Blood Moons for quite a long time. Then I loaned them to somebody, and they gave me back the like modern Masters ones.
Did you have like the dark version?
No, I just had like white border 9th edition, but I kind of liked them because they were mine.
Fair.
And then I got back to different ones, so I just sold them. I just never put Blood Moon in my sideboard again.
Yeah,
or main deck.
You might be better off.
No, I think I am.
Gooch opening up on that Leyline of Abundance, and we see Pulliam starting turn 1 with Once Upon a Time.
2 things being soft cast with no lands on the battlefield. Ban them both. Get them out.
How do you feel about a ban list update that's just like 10 cards?
Good. Just burn it. That would be great.
Talaria West.
Ban
up
it.
off Once Upon a Time.
Talaria West.
Yeah, ban
Dude,
West.
too good.
It's a Core Tribe Scout. You better believe you're banned. Turn 1 for Will Pulliam.
Simic Growth Chamber. Get out.
Once Upon a Time for Gooch. He gets 2 0 mana effects.
Good. Great.
I'm
Love
calling
it.
shenanigans on this. This is too much.
Yeah, for those of you unaware of the way that the ley lines work, you're not actually casting them, so once upon a time, unaffected by it. It's a weird little interaction that comes up very rarely. I have had it come up in Legacy before, actually, when I started with a ley line of the void in my weird Sultai deck I was playing.
You were saying that, and for some reason I started thinking about Legacy ley lines. The
Sarah Sanctum?
Opalescence?
Oh,
deck?
yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, you start off with 4 ley lines.
I think I want to
Sarah
build
Sanctum
a
Opalescence.
little Once Upon a Time Opalescence combo.
That doesn't really work. You just
you can't find Opal. You can find the Sanctum. You find the Sanctum.
Yeah.
Noble Hierarch on turn 1 for Gooch. That's going to get dismembered.
Yep, a great start here from Pulliam. Had the 1 mana Accelerant as well as the 1 mana interactive spell. So his first few turns are looking pretty good. Gooch here are going to need a pretty powerful comeback in order to match this mana development from Pulliam. Though if Pulliam doesn't have the payoff of Primeval Titan, it'll be all for naught.
Simic Growth Chamber picks up that snow-covered forest. Wisely covering that mana creature is Pulliam, as Gooch does not have much mana here, whereas the Hierarch would tap for 3 under the ley line.
3?
Could be a fetch and a shock.
Just 2. Yeah, I can only give us 1 extra.
All right, you're right.
Sorry.
But it would be a turn 4 play on turn 2.
That's
or
true.
4 mana play, rather.
Yeah, Dismember was a huge play from Pulliam, and it's going to completely shape how this entire game plays out.
Gooch to 17 off the fetch shock. Burnished Emissary into Devoted Druid. Devoted Druid Leyline of Abundance is a lot of mana.
That is a heater.
It's a combination.
Yeah. It's really good if you get a couple counters on it, then you can go off.
Speaking of a lot of mana, we have the Tribe Scout putting into Talaria West as we head back over to Will Pulliam, who will transmute another Talaria West.
Yeah, and he can play potentially a Engineering Explosives, but here he looks like he's just going to go get Summoner's Pact and prepare for a Primeval Titan on the following turn.
Summoner's Pact is defined. There's that snow-covered forest again, and Dismember on Devoted Druid. That's a big find. Pulliam to 12, but this matchup's not so much about his life total. It's about stopping Gooch from doing big explosive green devotion stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Though, if Gooch has Nykthos Shrine of Nyx here, he can use and generate 4 mana, maybe play something like Vivian Arcbow Ranger, and you can use that to maybe fight Sakura Tribe Scout to prevent 1 of the mana development from Pulliam. He's got 4 right now. End of turn, he's going to create 5 and maybe 6 on his own turn. If he has Primeval Titan with that Summoner's Pact, could be bad news for Gooch.
Update on some of our other tables here. Corey Baumeister, 7th seed upset over Daryl Ayers with a 2-0 win.
I get 2 points of equity there. I get to make fun of Daryl, and I get to have a beer with Corey. He's buying.
A lot of upside.
Yeah, double trouble. 1 downside. My prediction was wrong.
Yeah, well.
It often is.
Get used to that. I used to have to call these things when I was working with Matthias Hunt, and I just hated doing it.
You just hate guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, baby!
Misty Rainforest for Blood Moon. Well, you can stop mana development, but how do you stop this? Pulliam had some sideboard cards already. The Dismembers helped him a bit, but we're looking for some enchantment hate now.
Well, he does have Summoner's Pact, so he can use Summoner's Pact to go get Reclamation Sage and blow it up. But turn after that, he's got to pay 4 for the Summoner's Pact, and he loses his potential for the Primeval Titan if that was his only way to do it. So Blood Moon here, as far as Gooch is concerned, that is the best play he could make that turn, just because it forces Pulliam to just completely change his direction of play.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Pulliam transmuting for the Summoner's Pact, it stands to reason he's not looking at a Titan otherwise, right?
Right.
So you're spending his resource in terms of his payoff and a lot of mana over a couple turns. This Blood Moon, you know, either it wins the game outright or buys you 2 turns, which often converts to game wins. It's looking very powerful whether it's answered or not.
Yeah, I mean, you can see there's an inner monologue from Pulliam right now, and he's just like, okay, so how does this next turn go? I'm going to go get Reclamation Sage. I'm going to play it. I'm going to blow up the Blood Moon. Then what? Okay, trades for Burning Tree, maybe. Then he has to figure out a way to find another Primeval Titan next turn or the turn after. And if he does, great. And if he doesn't, well, that's a couple of unanswered turns from Gooch may completely turn this game around.
Well, you know what Gooch would like to see if he doesn't already have it? The second Blood Moon.
Yeah. That one would end the game on the spot unless Pulliam's got that second basic forest.
Reclamation Sage found off the pact. Blood Moon down. Go back over to Christopher Gooch. Once upon a time, so Pulliam has dodged the second Blood Moon.
I gotta say, the last name Gooch might be the most southern thing I've ever heard. It's like soppy biscuits. You know, just a nonsense thing that just sounds like it came from the South.
I believe you.
Yeah. The Gooch!
Questing Beast picked up after Once Upon a Time. That's a one-of in the deck.
It is.
I guess it's good at attacking Oko is the idea?
Yeah. It is quite good at attacking Oko. With Vivian Arcbow Ranger, you can make it quite large. It's very hard to block.
Ooh.
It also gets trample with the Death Touch if you use the Arcbow Ranger on it.
I suppose Field of the Dead also very popular in the format.
True. Questing Beast was one of the cards people use a lot in Pioneer over the last few months or whatever to get over Field of the Dead. So it'd be interesting to see if it was as effective here.
So the Emissary attacks, is going to trade with Reclamation Sage. Pulliam will pay for Summoner's Pact. And now he's got to find his way back to Primeval Titan.
He has a Zeusa, but whether or not he has extra lands or really needs extra mana to do anything with is another story.
Turn is going to be a Sousa and an attack for 1. Gooch to 15. But Pulliam doesn't need to go too fast. I suppose here's Devoted Druid for Gooch. Now it's just some pressure back on him. But before that, only had 3 lands, but the Devoted Druid represents a lot of mana. Taps for 2 twice if you want it on the same turn.
Well, we're tapping 6 here from Pulliam, so this looks like Primeval Titan to me. There it is.
Titan it is.
All right, he's going to go search, and he left the Talaria West untapped, which leads me to believe that he's going to get a bounce land, float some mana, and then try to transmute it this turn. That could let him go get maybe Pact of Negation, which can stifle the next play from the Gooch, or can maybe just go get Summoner's Pact and go for another Titan on the following turn. Field of the Dead also an option to start generating some bodies to try to close the game before Gooch comes back. But we're going to have to see one heck of a turn from Gooch here if he wants to win this game.
Titan's going to drum up Boros Garrison and Field of the Dead. Looks like 7 lands to me. There's a zombie token. 2 of them even. Pick up that Garrison. And now Asusa is going to make some zombies. The Garrison going to work. Cranks that up to 5 zombies.
Yeah, he had 3 land drops for the turn and 2 from the Primeval Titan. So 5 total zombies here, and Gooch needs a big one.
This is the first time he's had a lot of mana as he goes to the untap.
Right, Pulliam has 3 copies of Dismember in the sideboard. Drew 2 of them that really slowed down Gooch's ability to produce mana in the early turns.
Though a lot of his haymakers are really play from parity or play from ahead kind of things.
Right. Yeah, stuff like Karn the Great Creator, if you don't have a giant battlefield, even something like the Mycosynth Lattice Lock, pretty bad against Primeval Titan and a bunch of Field of Dead zombies. Same with Vivian Arcbow Ranger. You know, I mean, his deck is primarily mana generation and a couple of payoffs, and here Pulliam was able to just contain all of that and was on the play and had a pretty good draw to boot. I think that's going to be all she wrote for game number 2.
Christopher Gooch going to survey the situation, but he seems pretty nonplussed about the battlefield right now.
Yeah, 5 zombies, nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot of damage coming his way. That, the Primeval Titan, plus the 3 land drops, there's just so much pressure. And his deck's not really, developed in such a way that he can actually handle all of the stuff that's being thrown at him, I don't think.
Cast a Noble Hierarch. Now he's going to use that Devoted Druid for 4 mana. There's 2 more. Here's Questing Beast.
So it looks like he may have forgotten about the Leyline of Abundance. So he spent 6 mana on this Questing Beast. And he's going to come in for 4, put Pulliam down to reasonably scary 6, but I don't think it's anything.
Actually, he'll attack for 5 with Exalted.
Oh, sure. You're right.
The little creatures can't block, so if Pulliam wants to block, it has to be with the Titan.
No, that's a good point.
And Questing Beast, if you read Chapter 4, does have Death Touch.
Right, so it will trade with the Primeval Titan if it does block. I think maybe the thing that Pulliam is trying to figure out is if next turn there's a chance that he dies. Also, the fact that Gooch's Questing Beast has... Okay, I'll just shut up. Let's just watch the game. Doesn't matter. Didn't block. Took the damage.
5 damage comes across. Pulliam to 5. Tribe Scout's going to put a land back out, make another zombie.
Picked up Talaria West. And he has Boris Garrison on the battlefield, so if I'm not mistaken, he may be able to transmute for Summoner's Pact, cast it, go get Primeval Titan, cast that, go get a Bounce Land and Slayer Stronghold, return the land to hand. Okay.
Well, he's going to attack with 6 zombies, the Titan, and the Asusa. Tribe Scout hanging back. Ooh, all right. So Sunhome and Bounce Land are being found. Bounce Land picks up Sunhome. Tribe Scout can put that back in. So that Titan's attacking for 12.
That's a lot of damage, and with all those zombies coming in too, I believe this to be a lethal attack thanks to the Primeval Titan. Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Gooch agrees. Assume Pulliam knew it as well. And these players are going to game number 3.
All right.
Pulliam able to fight through Leyline, some mana creatures, and a Blood Moon. But this time he has to do it on the draw.
I was actually quite strong draws from both players, but I think just Pulliam being on the play there and having one more answer to the things that Gooch threw at him was enough to do it.
Yeah, this is something that would come up when Leyline was still legal in Pioneer. It felt like the Llanowar Elf, Leyline of Abundance start was like about as strong as it could get, but then if your opponent just shocked your Llanowar Elf, it felt like you were just the biggest dog.
Yeah, one of the biggest struggles in developing the Mono Green Devotion in Pioneer was trying to figure out a way to mitigate the circumstances behind one of your elves dying early. Because you don't really want to play a ton of 2-drops, because a turn 1 Llanowar Elves into a 2-drop is, why are you even playing Llanowar Elves, right? And but at the same time, you need something to do when your opponent does kill your stuff. So the concession in a lot of those spots was to play creatures that have kind of what I like to call like a variable casting cost. Now, you can have an actual variable casting cost with stuff like Walking Ballista. I chose for a while Scavenging Ooze as a way to dump extra mana in, but also if your opponent killed your stuff, you just had a pretty powerful creature to play on turn 2 that gave you more stuff to do on turn 3 at the very least, which I quite liked. Also at the same time, graveyard decks were reasonably popular, and having a way to interact with them was important. So
the Green Devotion deck and Pioneer, which in a lot of ways really resembles this modern deck, is something that you saw a good amount of success with, produced some great content over on StarCityGames.com about. Now you're more about the red deck.
Oh yeah.
But either way, you want to read Todd Anderson's content, you're going to need to be a premium subscriber, which is a great value subscription for $7.99 a month. You get Todd's articles, you get Brad Nelson's articles, you get PVDDR, you get Sullivan's Satchel, all that exclusive content, which already makes it well worth the cost of admission. And then 5% off sealed products, 10% off signals, 15% off supplies. Theros Beyond Death's coming out. Get your discount on your pre-ordered boxes and singles there over at go.starcitygames.com/premium.
Yeah, and if you want to pick up some of those katana sleeves, the Ultimate Guard sells, I believe we have those as well. A lot of supplies on the website.
They shuffle like butter.
Yeah, they're very nice.
You might think be uncomfortable to have your hands covered in butter, but that's why you got to try the sleeves.
See, I thought you were going to go the other way, where if you start to shuffle katanas, you will slice your fingers up.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah, they're very sharp.
Don't do that. So it's a brand
The
name.
weapon, not the...
Yes.
The sleeves are just normal. They're like
are good,
sleeves, but they're very good.
But don't shuffle razor blades. That's my advice to you.
That's a good piece of advice. Pulliam here, back from his trip off camera. Age 23 from Greenwood, South Carolina. On 2019, played 15 opens, including 3 top 8s and a win. If I'm not mistaken, the win came with this deck, Amulet Titan.
A champion with Amulet Titan, looking for a repeat there. Was able to fight through a pretty tough one in game number 2 here, but might have his back against the wall in game 3. Looking for that 3rd win all time.
Yeah, 3rd one all time, as well as, well, that's it. Never mind.
Has 2 degrees in engineering.
Cool. Which ones?
He will not be able to earn a 3rd degree in the top 8. I can tell you that. His other top 8 was actually Mono Red in Standard right after War of the Spark dropped. He had kind of a cool innovation. That was the Steamkin Red deck. And he was just playing Chandra Fire Artisan instead of Experimental Frenzy.
Yeah, that was really cool because everyone was like, oh man, Experimental Frenzy's so busted. And he's just like, well, this new Chandra's pretty good.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to play the Mirror. And this card does 6 damage as the floor.
Yeah.
It costs 4 mana.
Yeah. Good luck interacting with that. You chump.
I've cast a lot of Frenzies that can be very good, but I got to say, the floor is lower than 6 damage.
That's true. It also didn't lock your hand out, which I think was a big deal.
Yeah.
We actually see Frenzy in Pioneer this weekend, and last weekend we saw in the Teamer Urza decks. And this week, a lot of people picked up Future Sight, which is effectively the same card, except it doesn't lock your hand.
Costs an additional mana. Mana cost 3 times as prohibitive, but it's just that much better.
Yeah, I would say it's less prohibitive in the decks that play the Frenzies, though, just because Urza produces a billion blue mana. But I digress.
Yeah.
All right, Gooch going to be on the play here for game number 3 as these players shuffle up and draw their opening hands. They'll shake on it. Good sportsmanship from these two. Let's see if Gooch can take down one of the titans of the SCG Tour. Will Pulliam.
Because he plays Amulet Titan. I get it.
Look, man, just let it go. You let a lot of stuff go, and then sometimes you don't. And I don't understand why.
It depends on the pace of the player's play. Okay. So the faster the game is going, the less time I invest in dogging on you.
Okay.
Right. So right now, Will Pulliam taking a mulligan, so that's a lot of garbage time.
Okay.
Christopher Gooch pretty quickly kept on 7. We might see a kind of all-time fast game ender for Modern, the old Turd 2 Blood Moon.
Yeah, that'd be a hot one for the Gooch. My favorite is casting Blood Moon after your opponent casts Summoner's Pact.
Just put him in the dirt.
I've started to just because I'm trying to come up with new, not new slang, but I'm trying to I have to talk a lot on my stream, right? And so you can't just repeat the same stuff over and over again. You got to come up with new stuff. And so you can only say I smush my opponent so many times. You got to come up with new, interesting ways to do it. I know that over the last couple weeks I've been saying put him in the dumpster, right? Okay. That's my favorite one. Put him in the dirt's a nice one.
Yeah.
Love it.
Right.
Game number 3.
Gooch on the plate, a 19 off Horizon Canopy. Here's Noble Hierarch. Pulliam keeping on 6. Where did Foothills go over there? Blood Moon.
Blood Moon.
Action.
He's got both.
He's got 2 Blood Moons in his hand. He's got 2. Fire it off. Play that red source. What is this? Whatever this is, don't do this.
Making green.
Devoted Druid to 18. Misty Rainforest.
All right.
Maybe he wants to try to trap Pulliam under a Summoner's Pact.
I don't think he wants to trap. I don't think he wants to trap Pulliam under a Summoner's Trap. I think he wants to not lock himself out of green mana. Because if he goes for a turn 2 Blood Moon off a Stomping Ground Canopy, Pulliam can just fetch Force, Dismember, and then I think he might actually have a small advantage.
That's fair.
So he's going to develop a little bit more mana. He knows that the Noble Heart didn't die to Dismember at the beginning, so this Devoted Druid is probably safe.
Okay. If you want to play the game well, I suppose we'll allow that. Pulliam fetching to 19, finds a basic, trying to play the game through. More good plays. Doesn't want to get Blood Mooned.
A lot of good plays here in the top 8.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to imagine that for Pulliam and other Amulet Titan players, the most common way that they have lost is 2 Blood Moon. So you gotta have a way to play around it. Here's that turn 2 Amulet and Castle Garenbrig. And now we see Christopher Gooch crack that Misty Rainforest. It's a 17 for Stomping Ground.
Only has the 1 copy of Stomping Ground. I was hoping he could maybe fetch a second and just draw a second Stomping Ground to be able to cast both Blood Moons this turn, just to make sure that he gets the message across.
Yeah, double Blood Moon would be nice. Well, actually, you just Stomping Ground leaving up the canopy, then it's a mountain.
Oh, yeah? No, you're right on that. Okay, cool deal.
Let's see how many Blood Moons Christopher Gooch wants to commit.
Well, there's very little reason. Since they know Deckless, they know that Pulliam doesn't have Force of Vigor, so there's very little reason not to just play both Blood Moons here.
Second Horizon Canopy is the land for turn. Hand looks like 4 cards, and half of them are Blood Moon.
Okay, so it's got a bunch of air, right? This is not the normal game plan of the Mono Green Devotion deck.
So that tap of 4 going to 16. Gonna wait on the Blood Moon and cast Karn the Great Creator. I can respect this.
Well, he can also just minus right now, untap Devoted Druid, go get a Liquid Metal Coating, and just turn off one of the lands from Pulliam's side on the following turn. Damping Sphere is also one heck of a card. Yeah. Holy crap.
-4 Damping Sphere.
That one's way better.
Devoted Druid will untap.
I mean, Gooch also knows that there are no Nature's Claims at Pulliam's disposal. His list is devoid of them this weekend. So.
Other Canopy puts him to 15, and there is Damping Sphere.
Yeah, and that's going to stick.
That is really good at slowing down Amulet.
It's pretty funny. Damping Sphere actually shuts off Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, but in this matchup, all you need to do is slow down the Amulet Titan deck as much as possible, and your deck just can kind of play a normal game plan with, Vivian, even Karn the Great Creator, like next turn is just threatening with another land, a Mycosynth Lattice.
Right. Yeah, just has 5 mana here. 1 shy of casting Lattice with a loyalty to spare. Will Pulliam asking himself, how am I going to get out of this? Doesn't even know about the 2 Blood Moons.
Yeah, spoiler alert. You're dead. Being on the play, not having to face off against Dismember, everything going right for the Gooch here. You know his friends just call him the Gooch, right?
They have to.
You can't not. That's why they call him the Gooch.
Celestia's Sanctuary, going to make a mana and bounce itself. And the Beast Within, going after Karn. Don't want to get latticed. But,
get him out there! Get him on the table!
Got the Todd Anderson.
Green Devotion, Todd Anderson, let's go!
Token from our 2013 personality token promotion. Attacking for 4, pulling him to 15.
All right, Blood Moon. Just cast it.
Dryad Arbor.
That'll be a mountain.
A 1/1 though.
Yep.
Burning Tree Emissary.
Okay.
Makes red-green. And how about one more mana? Here's Blood Moon. Got to pay another extra for the Damping Sphere, so he goes to 14 off the Canopy and tapping the Druid. And I can't imagine Pulliam's too happy about that one.
You think?
I can't imagine that
he had to cast Beast Within by bouncing his own bounce line.
Yes.
He's dead, dude.
There's Celestia Mountain.
At least it doesn't bounce a land back to his hand this time.
Azusa, Lost but Seeking Mountains. Go back to Christopher Gooch.
Has 2 more land drops to play, has no lands to play.
And just a lot of creatures on the battlefield. You know, they're not huge, but this Emissary and Beast token attack into Azusa pretty easily. Pulliam to 10.
I'm chomping out there.
Basic Forest, cast a second Blood Moon. What's the worst that could happen?
I don't know. Nothing. There's no bad things.
Yeah, here it is. 2 of them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You go.
Yep.
What do you got?
He's needs to find a second forest. Then he has to cast Summoner's Pact, go get Reclamation Sage. Then he needs to somehow, is there a red, needs Phyrexian Metamorph off the top to copy the Reclamations. I don't know.
He needs to draw Manamorphose into Engineer Explosives, you know, make 2 non-red color. I guess he has red-green ears, so he needs +1 color. Sakura Tribe Scout. That's none of that. Gooch is going to draw, and this is a pretty big tap.
7 mana.
That's a lot.
I don't know what this is, but it's good.
Ooh, Genesis Hydra for 5.
That's a heater. Bird, land. BTE, lands.
That's some gunk.
Okay.
Just some gunk.
Unfortunately, Genesis Hydra, I actually don't like it that much in general. I loved it when it was in Standard because you would just do some really busted stuff. But it shuffles it back in? Oh, no.
Shuffle the rest of your library.
Right, well, you shuffle the cards back in.
Everything but you take. Yeah, right.
Yep. So he does get Burning Tree, and pretty sure he actually has to pay 1 for the Burning Tree or it gets counter, or he can't actually. Oh, it's not casting it.
Yeah, you just put it on the battlefield.
2 mana floating.
Right, the Hydra finds permanence and just puts them out there.
You know, what I was saying, Genesis Hydra can't find lands. And it was kind of modeled after Genesis Wave. That always kind of bugged me because Genesis Wave hitting lands was a huge part of that card.
Yeah, I hate it when you're 6/6 can't find a land. You know?
I know. All right, well, it looks like we got some life here.
Explosives on 2.
Just going to buy him some time. Takes care of Genesis Hydra, both Burning Trees, so it's just going to be me. It's got to be me.
It tags the Damping Sphere.
That's true, too.
Not so much the Blood Moons. So Devoted Druid, so the explosives are going off. Devoted Druid, 2 Emissaries, the Damping Sphere, the Genesis Hydra.
Yep, but Pulliam's at 5. The Beast token will be attacking for 4 damage here.
And there's that attack. Pulliam's looking at a chump block with the Tribe Scout. He's going to make that. And Gooch will pass. All right, so now Pulliam has the matter of the 2 Blood Moons. Here's a Sakura Tribe Scout or a chump blocker, if we learned anything from last turn.
Here comes Healing Salve.
Another Forest. And there's Vivian Arcbow Ranger.
You can't see it, but my eyes just bugged out of my brain. He's so dead. Gives it trample.
Yeah, Vivian gets trample, huh?
Sure does.
This is an attack for 6 with trample.
Yeah, it looks like you got to block with that there Azusa and take. Okay, there it is.
And Pulliam has seen enough. Christopher Gooch.
Wow, that was brutal. That was a game. Or sorry,